Carson performance.
If anyone's running like a drift tyre and they want to get the most out of it,
I won't look at Danny's peak values.
Oh, we have the key.
Watch out for the powers. Yeah, could I just get a guide pulley for a Renault Sport van?
Good morning, you lovelies. Welcome back to another Monky episode. Sorry you haven't seen me for like the last week. I know I've been pretty decent as of recent, putting out lots of regular content. But I've had a few things to sort out behind the scenes, but they are, alas, all sorted now, so we can crack on with the content. My van's actually developed a bit of a whirring noise. I'll do a little stop so you guys can have a quick little listen. Whee! Whee! Yeah, as you can hear, she sounds a little bit worried. I'm going to head up to Scouses today, have a little investigation. We've also got some quite exciting news. If you've been paying attention to Scouses' social media, you will have noticed he's actually relocated to a new unit. The whole idea is to reduce his overheads, move to a smaller unit and basically make it more manageable with just him and Lewis operating the reins. A lot of you guys say to me, oh Monky, you should get a unit, which is great. I'd love to get a unit. I'd love to have all my cars lined up. We could do like a type of sort of hooligans type thing. Realistically, for me to get any sort of sizable unit, I'm looking at probably £1,500 a month, excluding insurance, excluding business rates, excluding electricity and all the other malarkey. So if I was to get a unit, all the money I make each month would be spent on the unit and I wouldn't have any money for my rent, for my house, for eating. So it kind of gives you an idea how expensive it really is in the UK to have a business or have your own unit. Before I stop rabbiting on, I've also got some really exciting news. On Friday, I'm going to be heading up to see Fensport. I'm going to be taking a lot of the G6R Corolla parts that Scouse and I removed a few weeks ago. And I'm also going to be taking my JZX. Yeah, come on baby! So yeah, Fensport have very kindly agreed to help me finish my JZX. Not only finish it, but to improve it as well. We've been in talks about getting a new turbo for it. There's lots and lots of stuff coming up, but yeah, needless to say, they're going to help me finish it. It's kind of the break I really needed to get the car finished, and I know a lot of you guys have been asking me almost as much as the Civic, Monky, where is the JZX? Oh, once we get to Fensport, we'll kind of do a full walk around of the car, tell you exactly what we're planning to do, and fingers crossed we can bring you some JZX content real soon. Mr. Wizzo, what are you doing? You got many tyres.
mate, I'm tired. I've shuffled my cars around and shuffled my storage around.
Semi-slicks, baby. I like these. These are actually the practice tyres.
So yeah, these are the Zeknova practice tyres. They've got a higher tread wear than like your normal sort of grippy boy tyre.
Yeah.
And they got more tread.
How much to come with?
8mm.
Oh, 8. Normal tyres come with 7.
7,
Yeah.
yeah. So these have got 8. It does increase the weight because obviously there's more material there, but in terms of practice, you get more laps out of these.
Yeah.
Feedback I've had, I haven't actually run these myself, but all my feedbacks come from guys who've run them for a long time in another country.
So that's the practice tyre. Have you got any of the comp ones around here?
So this one,
Actually, you can sort of visually see it's a little bit skinnier.
heavier tread in the centre to on the shoulder. So the idea is that when you run them with low grip, obviously the middle's sagging, so it should run flat. The main point of the grip, if you look on here, you've got the little smoke clouds.
Oh yeah.
I think they look like
these
smoke
actually
clouds.
are made for drifting, aren't they? It's cool.
Yeah. So if anyone's running like a drift tyre and they want to get the most out of it, you want to be trying to roll onto the actual shoulder of the tyre. So if you look on the tyre behind you, there's a lot more shoulder on the practice tyre.
Yeah.
So it takes you longer to get through the outer edge of the tyre, whereas with the actual competition tyre, the shoulder's more rolled. On the competition tyre, you want to get on that shoulder faster, so it's rolled away.
These are actually the maximum size that you can use in the majority of drifting competitions around the world, which is a 265 width.
265, 35, 18.
Zeknova, would you say they are the best drift tyres available on the market right now?
In drift terms, these will absolutely muller an AD08.
So that was pretty interesting. Hopefully you guys like that little talk with Mr. Mitto.
Carson performance, but it's gone.
Carson Performance is no more. It's around the corner. So I'll show you guys where Scouse has moved. So that's the old unit right there. Then you've got Intermotive, who are like a sort of air suspension specialist. And then you've got the new Carson Performance. Oi, oi! Carson Performance.
Welcome to my humble abode.
Yeah, how you doing?
Tired, stressed.
Oh man, you've done pretty well considering all of that stuff was in the unit on
I had a lot
Saturday.
more stuff and I thought, yeah. Well, we started off moving Thursday evening and got to this point by Saturday evening. So, well, I say for Saturday evening, Saturday afternoon.
Should we have a quick look upstairs, Scouse? This
Yeah,
like,
that's a mess as well, I'm not gonna lie.
Come on, man, we'll have a quick look. So this is the new office. Oh, that's not bad, man. You got all the tables and stuff in here.
Yeah.
Lou, how are you? Cool as well. You've got a viewing window, so you can keep an eye on Lewis. Just make
Yeah,
sure.
as I say, that's my Lewis spying area.
You can keep an eye on you. Make sure you're doing your work.
Right, get on with it.
Nice sized workshop and a lot more fucking manageable now, dude.
Yeah, and we've still got good parking. Like, we've still got amount of parking, so I haven't lost anything there, which is handy. And it's flat. Look, none of this ramps getting in, which is a big bonus. Yeah. Oh god, yeah. It was right.
I mean, you could get cars in fine, but it was just a mission.
Yeah.
Where's the tea making facilities going to be? Because that's obviously my important station.
Yeah, that is your station. At the moment, it hasn't got a kitchen top, so we've got to put a kitchen top and a sink in there.
Have you got a kitchen top?
No, I'm going to try and find one.
Well, if anyone in the comment section is a kitchen
so just need
fitter,
someone phone one out. I don't want to buy a brand new one. Don't need to. Just something's going to go on there. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Cool. Yeah, let us know if you've got anything. Feel free to put a comment. I'm sure Scouse will hassle you. Mr. Danny Neville's laurels about to leave.
Yeah, it's all done, just getting collected. So we've just done a couple of things to it. So done a hybrid turbo, bigger injectors, upgraded all the brakes, so it's all new disc and pads. Put some bonnet pins in there because he's running it so low, he actually rubbed through his original bonnet cable. So he's got bonnet pins in now.
What brakes did he fit?
EBC brake discs and pads,
nice.
like red stuff pads, because this is going to be a track car. It's not just just a road car. He actually is going to be using on the track.
Yeah. I like the laurels, man. They're just a little bit sort of different, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, J's and X's are pretty rare, but these are even rarer, I'd probably say.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Look at that wood steering wheel, Nardy. It's cool interior, isn't it?
Yeah,
I like this.
So we fitted this before. We did all the Defi gauges for him when it was in before.
They are really nice seats for this car. It's old school in here, but it's quite sort of spacey with the dash layout. It's sort of old school but futuristic.
Yeah.
I like it, man. Defi gauges are cool as well. When they're not illuminated, they're all just sort of blacked out. They look really sort of stealthy, don't they? There we go. Yeah, lovely gauges, man. I won't look at Danny's peak values.
I'm not a crumpet.
Was it a Welsh cake?
Welsh cake. It was St David's Day, yes sir.
Actually from Wales. This is what a SR20DE looks like. Does need a new steering wheel, but not the end of the world. Couple of cheeky gauges up there as well. Super rare aero front bumper. They're going for about £1,000 these bumpers now, so they're super sought after. Oh, Barossa. I like them if they're done a certain way. Stock, they are a bit of a catfish.
Massive wheels, Vertex kit,
1,000 horsepower.
well 600. That's the magic number. They nearly crashed it.
Oh yeah, careful boys.
Loads of room for
Whoa,
activity.
whoa!
Film.
Whoa, hey Jake, wait, Mr. Spirit Reef. How you doing, geezer? Nice to see you, man. Do you want a hand or can I film?
No, you can give us that.
What size injectors did you put in it?
There's 570cc, which is the R35 GTR ones.
Okay. We've got a new transport man on the scene today. Shit, don't tell Lozzie. Mr. Neville's car is ready for transportation. It'll be coming back in the future to get a few more bits done. So yeah, fingers crossed we can actually get Danny to take us out one day and do a cheeky nugget. They only actually did the Barossa or the Mark II in the 110. Obviously in the 100, the 90 and the 81 you got the Cresta and the Chaser as well. Quite a radical looking car. I think probably the main thing is the grille, which really sets it apart, isn't it? It's got that big mouth.
And the weird sort of gawky
Eyes,
but I don't know how to describe it.
We have the key.
Lizzie's just actually recently imported this, and Scouse is going to be doing a full service and getting it all ready for the road. So these are actually quite a bit more modern than the 100s and certainly more than the 90s and the 81s. You can kind of see inside they're a bit more upmarket, as it were, a bit more futuristic. We've got a little fly-off handbrake button. The idea with that, guys, is so you can basically do a handbrake without having to push the button in, because when you try and do a handbrake with a button, sometimes you can slip and you can accidentally release the button and it can actually lock the handbrake, which is not what you want when you're trying to do a dugget. With one of these, the handbrake always stays disengaged, and when you want to lock it, you pull the handbrake up and you actually pull this little thing out, and that locks the handbrake. But yeah, if you never knew what one of those was, now you do. Pretty decent spec in these. You've got most sort of mod cons, things like digital climate control and electric folding mirrors. Standard interior as well. It's kind of like a sort of, it's not velour like the old cars, it's like a sort of suede outside and then a normal cloth inside. Ye old heart of the beast, missing the cover at the moment. Cusco strut brace, really nice bit of kit those. HKS filter down here, front mounted intercooler, yeah, which you can just about see there. So a nice sort of platform. The paint's a little bit scruffy in places, but yeah, nothing that a a decent painter couldn't sort out. Muzzy's also just brought this Toyota Surrey in. It's actually a breaker car because the chassis is in really bad condition, but it's 1JZ and it's a manual as well, so very, very rare car. If you guys need any Sora parts though, feel free to give them a shout. Scouse is going to go for a MOT. Not in this though.
No, in the purple Skyline.
Nom nom. I'm going to move this Spec S. I've never driven a Spec S.
Watch out for powers.
Oh, it's auto. Ah. There we go. She's back up and running. Oh, it's got a mini disc player. Check this out. I bet some of you younger guys in the audience have never seen a mini disc. Definitely link meter down here. You guys are starting to see these quite a lot in a lot of these Japanese cars, and I believe that's the thing for the toll road. I think you kind of put your card in there once you've kind of prepaid it or whatever the score was. She's not bad. She's peppy. She's got a bit of power. I'll put her in neutral so you guys can hear what she sounds like. Sounds just, I mean it is an SR20, but it sounds just like a DET really. You obviously don't get any sort of flutters, but the raspiness is identical. Let me know in the comment section below. Sora, Verosa, S15? You like your job, don't you? Scousy's just gone for an MOT in the R33. I'm going to do a little bit of website work on my computer. Once he's back, I'll pull the Renault Master down. We'll have a quick little investigation, get the belt off and have a look at the water pump just to make sure it definitely is the water pump. Then we will order it. If we can't get it today, we will get it tomorrow and fit it then. But yeah, I need to get the van sorted before Friday's adventure with Fencewell, because obviously I'm going to be taking the trailer. Yeah, lots of goodness coming up.
A few moments later.
Scousey. Next up, we're just going to have a look at the old Master. As you can see, yeah, before it was on the max. Well, that did it, yeah, literally a day later. But then it doesn't get any further than that. It seems to sort of stay there. So I don't know if the bearings are fucked or something else.
Yeah, I'll put a pressure tester on it and see if we can see it literally leaking out of the water pump.
That'd be useful, man, yeah. We'll do a quick little walk around of the party bank. 2.5 DCI 120. They also did a 2.2 or a 2.390 version. Steel rims, which I did actually at one point have professionally powder coated. They are pretty filthy at the moment, so I will give them a clean pretty soon. Rear tyres are still looking pretty chunky, lots of tread. The fronts are, they're not illegal, but they're getting low. The next port of call is to do my front tyres, probably about 2 mil of tread left on those bad boys. You guys actually look down here. One of my glow plugs isn't actually connected. Quite a common problem with these is the injectors can actually get stuck into the head. I had an injector problem, it started kind of clicking. I think you guys will probably remember from the old drift diaries, the van was making loads of clicking noises. Apart from that and a lower ball joint, which we did, or Scouse did last year, and the water pump possible issue we've got now, on the whole, this Master has been really reliable. Lovely interior, beautiful double seats. Nothing exciting in the back, I've just got an array of different wheels, a few tools and stuff, but yeah, oh, and a BMW E30 gearbox, but yeah, as you guys can see, nothing exciting in my van. Bodywork is pretty decent as well for the age of it. There's a couple of little nicks and stuff around it, but on the whole, for an older generation Master van, she's pretty pimp.
Literally, this is like a pump, almost like a bike pump basically, but it basically puts pressure into the system. So if you've got a leak somewhere, it's going to force the coolant out. You know, so the same as if when you're driving the car, when the coolant gets hot, it gets pressurised, and it's going to force the coolant out to leak.
It's nice just to do
double
this
check,
anyway,
yeah, rather than replace it on a gamble.
Definitely, man. Gauge isn't moving, which kind of indicates it's not leaking.
No, so usually by doing this, you'll just see somewhere it will just be dripping.
From what we can see, it's not leaking. Scouse made a good point. If we remove the auxiliary belt and the noise goes away, then we know it's not the water pump. The water pump is actually driven off the cam belt, so we can't actually remove that to see if the noise goes away. But yeah, we can kind of alleviate the other two by removing the auxiliary belt.
That's what your noise is. That's just the guide belt, guide pulley, sorry.
We just start it up now with it off to see if it goes.
Start it up and see what it sounds like. Like the battery light will come on because your alternator's not there, but...
Yeah, you're right, man. Nice one, Scouse. So yeah, that coolant loss, maybe because Eddie bled the system for me the other day, but maybe when I went off it just sort of sucked a bit more through, so that just might be why the coolant dropped a little bit.
According to the tester, we're putting pressure in there and there doesn't appear to be any leaks. There doesn't look like there's anything here, the radiator or anything like that. I mean, the fact is not showing any signs of leaking. Yeah, maybe it was just low on coolant.
Yeah.
Eddie topped it up for you the other day, and maybe there's a bit of an air in the system. It's kind of bled itself out back up to the top of the bottle. So yeah, we'll top it up again today and kind of just keep an eye on it. Yeah. So if this one here, so this is a tensioner pulley, lovely and smooth.
Yeah.
This one, Very noisy.
And luckily for us, cheap and easy to replace because the water pump would probably be a bit of a see you next Tuesday.
Hello, mate. You alright? Yeah, could I just get a guide pulley for Renault Sport Van? Yeah, the V8 one.
Scouse, you're a legend, man. You are. I mean, hug me. Thanks, Geezer. Nice one, Geez.
No worries, mate.
The night is drawing in. We're getting lighter evenings. Oh,
Yes.
much nicer, man. Yeah, we're not a fan of the dark. I'm going to be back here tomorrow to do a bit more shit with Scouse.
Fixer.
Yeah, more fixing stuff.
I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give it a like and a share. Leave comments in the comment section.
Only nice ones, though. Actually, you can leave bad ones.
Thanks for watching. Peace.